we heard today was that the industry is trying to do the right thing, and we're certainly moving towards where we're getting to with the Greater Manchester policy. I think from the debate, some of the pragmatism around what local authorities are trying to achieve in this and the standardisation with the new report that's coming out, it's a space that as a business we're trying to get into. It's important because not just our investors want us seeing delivering on the climate change agenda, but now our occupiers are increasingly making demands on our space. So it's a standard that we want to get to. Sometimes there is a gap in skills and the ability of local authorities to understand this, and including understanding its impacts on viability. But from what I've heard today, the guidance will help us bridge that gap.
So the net zero carbon guidance that we brought out, it brings in a proforma, an energy carbon proforma that applicants can complete alongside their energy and sustainability statements. These are here to kind of standardise submissions, help bring out the numbers that matter, the ones that relate back to planning policy, and to really bring forward clear and concise submissions. The question then comes down to what happens when people don't meet those. The guidance and the policy that sits behind it is a pragmatic piece, and it's not meant to be this stick that people achieve.
I think there's two different ways, isn't there? There's a carrot and a stick approach. I think planning can sometimes go a bit too far on the stick approach when really it needs to be more of a conversation. And I think we can look at ways to incentivise rather than punish developers who don't hit certain goals. But again, one of the most important things for me is flexibility and just offering up a conversation and putting your point across as to why certain net zero targets can't be met or how we can work towards them.
Personally, I prefer the carrot approach. So we are trying to communicate with industry. We have our own developer forums. We are here today. I've engaged with industry representatives over the past couple of months. So I think it is really about working with industry, but ultimately there is a policy in place which is a legally compliant route. So the kind of stick is, if you don't comply with the policy, then there is a risk that you're going to get pushback on that development, and they may ultimately have that application refused. I think some of the main hurdles are actually wider than the policy itself. So there are viability issues, there's construction costs at the moment, and I think as industry has found out, it is a changing field on the energy side. So actually some of the hurdles can be, because there is less certainty about what's happening in terms of the design standard itself and what standard to meet. I think at least here today we are providing some certainty about what net zero carbon does mean in Greater Manchester.
I was really pleased to see the ambition in the room. I didn't know what quite I expected from the round table, but the feedback we'd had and the difficulty we'd had with the guidance, I expected it maybe to be slightly negative, but it was much more positive. As developers, Harworth are really keen on meeting the net zero goals, and obviously Manchester and Greater Manchester are also really keen to have a net zero borough and area. So my takeaway was that we're all working towards the same goal, and we'll make it work whatever we do and in whichever way.
So my biggest takeaway today is that we're a lot closer to where we thought we were wanting to get to, and there is a level of pragmatism that's being shown by the districts that will help us deliver on this agenda.